Over 60? These 4 fish are harming you, and the 4 I'll show you instead can bring back the spark in your step, the clarity in your mind, and the comfort in your joints. Let me say this right up front: by the time most of us hit our 60s, we've already lost nearly a third of our muscle mass compared to when we were young adults. That's like carrying around a body that feels weaker and heavier even if your weight hasn't changed. And here's the surprising part: the foods we eat every week, even something as simple as the kind of fish we put on our plate, can either speed that loss up or slow it down dramatically. I want you to picture this. You open your fridge, maybe it's a Friday night, and you've got a couple of frozen fillets wrapped up in plastic. You toss them in the pan, smell that familiar sizzle, sprinkle on some lemon, and think, well, at least this is healthy. But what if I told you that one of those so-called healthy choices might actually be stiffening your joints, fogging up your memory, and draining your energy the very next day? That's not scare talk. It's biology. Now, before you feel overwhelmed, let me reassure you, the fixes are not complicated. In fact, they're as close as your local grocery store. They're affordable, simple, and once you know what to look for, you'll never be tricked by the labels again. This isn't about dieting or giving up foods you enjoy. It's about swapping the silent energy thieves for foods that give you back strength, stamina, and even sharper focus. Here's a little-known fact most people never hear: after 60, our circulation naturally slows. That's why our hands and feet may feel colder, why bruises take longer to heal, or why we get tired faster walking up the same set of stairs we used to jog up. Certain fish, though, actually make this worse: they thicken the blood or clog up our arteries with hidden toxins. On the other hand, other fish thin the blood just enough, keeping it flowing smoothly, carrying oxygen straight to the brain and muscles. Imagine it this way: your body is like a river. If the water moves slowly, debris starts to pile up, the banks get clogged, and the fish in that river, no pun intended, struggle to survive. But when the current is flowing strong and clear, everything thrives. That's the difference between eating the wrong fish and eating the right fish after 60. One choice leaves you sluggish and achy. The other fuels you with fresh energy, almost like flipping on a light switch inside your cells. I'll share something personal. A friend of mine, a woman in her late 70s, told me she thought it was just aging when her knees hurt every morning and when she couldn't get through her crossword puzzle anymore without rereading the same clue. But when she swapped out one fish she was eating weekly for another, and she didn't change anything else in her diet, within a month she said her mornings felt lighter. That's her word. Lighter. She could get out of bed without groaning, and she finished her puzzles again. That's the power of one simple change. And you deserve that too. You deserve mornings without that heavy, dragging feeling. You deserve clear thoughts, stronger steps, and the joy of sitting at the dinner table knowing what's on your plate is helping you, not hurting you. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make it happen. So stay with me, because in just a moment we're going to talk about what really happens inside the body as we age and why it's not your fault if you're feeling tired, stiff, or forgetful. But here's the promise: once you understand the hidden truth, the solutions will feel simple, natural, and within your reach. And that's when things start to change. Imagine waking up in the morning. The sunlight peeks through the blinds, you swing your legs off the bed, and suddenly that sharp ache in your knees greets you before your feet even touch the floor. Or maybe you head to the kitchen, reach for your coffee mug, and realize your grip isn't as strong as it once was. These are the everyday reminders that our bodies are changing with age, not always dramatically, but quietly, day by day. Here's a startling truth: after the age of 60, we can lose as much as 1% of our muscle every single year if we don't protect it. Think about that. A whole percent of strength, gone year after year. That's why something as simple as lifting a laundry basket or carrying a bag of groceries can suddenly feel like hauling a sack of bricks. It's not just you, it's biology. And it's not only our muscles. Circulation slows down, so our blood doesn't carry oxygen as efficiently. That's why our hands and feet might feel colder, or why a short walk can leave us catching our breath. Our memory sometimes plays tricks too: a familiar name on the tip of the tongue, or walking into a room and forgetting why we went there. These moments can feel frustrating, even a little scary. But here's the hopeful side: none of this means you're broken or too old. It means your body is whispering to you, asking for a little extra care. It's like a garden that needs just the right water, sunlight, and soil to keep blooming. Give it what it needs, and it can still thrive beautifully even in later seasons. Now, let's talk about stiffness. If you've ever described yourself as feeling like an old rusty hinge, you're not alone. That stiffness comes from inflammation, little fires inside the body that never quite go out. The surprising part? Certain foods can either fan those flames or help put them out. And fish, yes, the kind you pick up at the grocery store, can be one of the biggest culprits on both sides. Here's something almost no one tells seniors: not all healthy fish are created equal. Some are farmed in polluted waters, some carry heavy metals like mercury, and others are stripped of nutrients by the time they reach your plate. Yet we've been told for decades, just eat more fish, it's good for you. That blanket advice can actually set us up for pain, fatigue, and even memory struggles. Think about how unfair that feels. You try to make a smart choice. You choose fish instead of a greasy burger, or you stock up on frozen fillets thinking they'll help your heart. And yet, those choices may be robbing you of the very energy and comfort you're looking for. It's frustrating. It's confusing. And it leaves many seniors wondering, what's the point? But here's the good news: the point is, once you know the difference between the fish that harm and the fish that heal, everything changes. Your meals stop working against you and start working for you. Instead of stiff mornings, you notice lighter steps. Instead of foggy afternoons, your mind feels clearer. Instead of endless fatigue, you find yourself saying, I actually have the energy to enjoy this day. And that's where we're headed together. Because in the next part, we're going to pull back the curtain on the myths, the mistakes, and the hidden traps that so many seniors fall into when it comes to food and health advice. Some of these will surprise you, and some may even make you a little angry. But once you see the truth, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. Picture this: you're standing in the grocery store aisle, looking at a long row of frozen fish fillets. The packages are bright, the words heart healthy or good source of protein are stamped across the front, and you think, perfect, this will be good for me. But here's the shocker: not all of them are. In fact, some of the most common fish on those shelves may actually be draining your energy instead of giving it back. We've been told for years that fish is fish and it's always a safe, smart choice. That's a myth. Some fish are farm-raised in crowded pens, fed unnatural diets, and treated with chemicals to survive in polluted water. When you cook that up, it might look golden and crispy on the outside, but inside it carries toxins that can fan the flames of inflammation in your body. That's the very stiffness you feel in your back when you get up from a chair, or the heavy ache in your legs after a walk. And here's another trap: fish sticks, breaded fillets, or fast food fish sandwiches. They might remind you of the comfort meals you grew up with, but most of them are loaded with fillers, fried in unhealthy oils, and stripped of the omega-3s your body actually needs. Instead of protecting your heart and joints, they can spike your cholesterol, fog your memory, and leave you more tired than before you ate. Let's not forget the expensive supplements aisle. How many times have you seen those big bottles of fish oil pills, promising sharper minds and stronger hearts? Seniors spend billions of dollars on them every year. And yet, studies have shown many of those pills don't even contain the amount of omega-3s they claim, or worse, they've gone rancid before you ever swallow them. That fishy aftertaste? It's not just unpleasant. It's your body telling you something isn't right. Now, I want you to think about how this feels in your day-to-day life. You eat a piece of fish, maybe with some vegetables, expecting to feel nourished and satisfied. But instead, an hour later, you're yawning. Your shoulders feel stiff. Your mind feels a little foggy, like someone pulled a light blanket over your brain. That's not just getting older. That's the wrong kind of fish quietly stealing your vitality. And here's the part that makes me the most frustrated: no one warns us about this. Doctors rarely talk about the differences between fish. Nutrition labels are designed to look trustworthy, and most people simply don't know what to look for. So we keep eating the same things, we keep feeling weaker, and we blame ourselves or chalk it up to age. But it's not your fault. You were never given the full truth. The good news? That truth is coming. Because once you know the difference, you'll see that a single swap on your dinner plate can mean the difference between waking up groggy or waking up ready for the day. Between aching knees that slow you down and joints that let you climb stairs without stopping halfway. So let's keep going, because in the next part we'll reach a turning point. I'm going to share the surprising discovery scientists uncovered about the right fish and how they can actually reignite your body's energy engine. And trust me, once you hear this, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. Now here's where everything shifts. For years we were told that the decline in strength, memory, and energy after 60 was just aging. But researchers have discovered something astonishing: much of that decline is linked to the type of fats and nutrients fueling our cells. And some fish, the right fish, are like high-octane fuel for the body's tiny energy engines called mitochondria. Think about mitochondria like little batteries inside every cell. They take the food you eat and turn it into energy. When you were younger, those batteries were fully charged and working overtime. But as we age, the batteries weaken. That's why stairs feel harder, why a trip to the store leaves you winded, or why brain fog rolls in during the afternoon. Here's the breakthrough: omega-3 fatty acids, found in the right fish, can literally recharge those batteries. I love this image. Imagine your body as a classic car. It still has all the beauty, all the parts, all the potential. But if you keep filling the tank with cheap fuel, it sputters, knocks, and stalls. Switch to premium grade, and suddenly that engine purrs again, smooth and strong. That's exactly what happens when you swap out harmful fish for the ones rich in clean omega-3s, vitamin D, and trace minerals. It's like turning the key and hearing the roar of life come back. Here's a fact most people never hear: seniors who ate fish like salmon or sardines twice a week had not just stronger hearts, but also sharper memories and better balance. One study even showed that older adults who boosted their omega-3 intake performed memory tasks as if they were years younger. Imagine sitting down to your crossword or Sudoku and feeling your mind click into place like it used to, not fumbling, not straining, but sharp and focused. And it doesn't stop at memory. The right fish actually soothe inflammation, cooling down those tiny fires that stiffen joints and make mornings feel like you're walking through mud. Picture the difference: instead of waking up with aching shoulders and knees, you rise and stretch, feeling looser, lighter, even eager to start the day. That's not fantasy. That's nutrition working on your side. I know what you might be thinking: can one meal really make that much difference? The answer is yes, when it's the right kind. Because food isn't just calories, it's information. Every bite sends signals to your cells: heal or harm, build or break down, inflame or soothe. The wrong fish sends the wrong message. The right fish tells your body: rebuild, restore, re-energize. But here's the exciting part: what we've just uncovered is only the beginning. Because while it's powerful to know that some fish can heal instead of harm, the real game changer is knowing exactly which ones to avoid and which ones to embrace for maximum strength, energy, and independence. And I promise you, once you see the list, it will all click into place. So stay with me, because in the next part, we'll lay out a step-by-step action plan: clear, simple, and doable. You'll know exactly which fish to skip, which ones to reach for, and how to make them part of your week without breaking the bank. This is where the healing path begins. Let's roll up our sleeves now. Because knowing the science is one thing, but what really matters is what you put on your plate this week. This is where the healing path begins, step by step, simple and clear. And I promise you, it won't feel overwhelming. First, let's talk about the fish to avoid. There are 4 common culprits, and you might even have one sitting in your freezer right now. Number 1, shark and swordfish. These are large predator fish, which means they accumulate high levels of mercury. Mercury is like a slow poison for your brain, especially dangerous as we get older. It can fog memory, worsen balance, and even contribute to tremors. It's not worth the risk. Second, king mackerel. It sounds regal, but it's another high mercury fish that can stress the nervous system. Third, tilefish. Beautiful name, but often loaded with contaminants that our bodies don't process well. And finally, farm-raised catfish or tilapia. These are often raised in overcrowded ponds, fed grain-based diets, and treated with antibiotics. Instead of delivering clean protein, they can add inflammation to your body, leaving you stiffer and more tired. Now here's the empowering part: let's swap those out for fish that actually heal. Number 1, wild-caught salmon. It's the gold standard, rich in omega-3s, vitamin D, and high-quality protein. When you bite into a perfectly baked salmon fillet with a squeeze of lemon, you're not just eating dinner, you're feeding your muscles, your heart, and your brain all at once. Number 2, sardines. Don't let their size fool you. These little fish are packed with nutrients, and because they're low on the food chain, they carry almost no mercury. Think of them as tiny nutrient bombs. Try them on whole grain crackers, with a slice of tomato, a snack that's quick, affordable, and powerful. Number 3, rainbow trout. Delicate, mild in flavor, easy to prepare. Whether you grill it with herbs or pan-sear it with a little olive oil, trout delivers clean protein and healthy fats that leave you satisfied without feeling heavy. And number 4, herring. Popular in many traditional diets, herring is one of the best sources of omega-3s on the planet. A simple herring salad or smoked herring with onions can wake up your taste buds and nourish your body. Here's something encouraging: these healing fish aren't luxury items. In many grocery stores, a can of sardines costs less than $1. Trout is often less expensive than beef or chicken. And frozen wild salmon, when bought in bulk, can stretch across several meals. Eating for energy doesn't have to break the bank. Now I want you to imagine this: it's dinner time, and instead of pulling out a frozen breaded fish patty, you take out a piece of fresh salmon. You season it with garlic and herbs, the smell fills your kitchen, and when you take that first flaky bite, you know it's doing something good inside your body. Picture waking up the next morning, joints a little looser, energy a little steadier, mind a little clearer. That's the difference. But don't stop here, because while all 4 of these healing fish are wonderful, there is one that stands above the rest. The number 1 most powerful fish for seniors over 60, the one that delivers strength, sharper thinking, and better circulation in a way that's almost unmatched. And in the next part, I'm going to reveal exactly what it is, and why it's worth making a centerpiece in your week. You won't want to miss it. Here it is, the moment we've been building toward. The single most powerful fish for seniors over 60, the one that rises above all the rest, is wild-caught salmon. Not farmed salmon, not the overly processed kind, but clean, wild-caught salmon straight from cold waters. Why is it number 1? Because it's like nature designed it perfectly for the challenges of aging. Wild salmon is loaded with omega-3s in their most natural, ready-to-use form. These fats don't just protect the heart, they actually help rebuild cell walls, keep your brain firing smoothly, and reduce the silent inflammation that makes joints ache. And here's something you might not know: salmon is one of the few natural foods rich in vitamin D, which is critical for bone strength, balance, and mood. Seniors with low vitamin D are more likely to feel weak, tired, and even depressed. Salmon quietly fills that gap. Picture this: you're sitting at the dinner table with family. The salmon comes out of the oven, the skin sizzling, a gentle aroma of lemon and dill rising into the air. The flesh flakes apart easily with your fork, tender and moist. With every bite, you're not just enjoying a meal, you're nourishing your muscles, your mind, your heart. It's comfort food that heals instead of harms. Now compare that to the alternative: spending hundreds on bottles of fish oil capsules, most of which don't even deliver what they promise. Or worse, eating the wrong fish that leaves you stiff and sluggish. Salmon makes the case for itself: real food, rich in nutrients, that works with your body instead of against it. Here's the twist that makes salmon unforgettable: it contains a rare antioxidant called astaxanthin. That's what gives the flesh its beautiful pink-orange color. But it's not just pretty. Astaxanthin is one of the most powerful anti-aging compounds scientists have studied. It protects your eyes from age-related decline, supports your skin, and even helps keep your blood vessels flexible. Imagine something as simple as a piece of fish helping you see clearly, move more freely, and feel years younger. I want you to imagine the transformation. Instead of hesitating to get out of your chair, you rise with ease. Instead of feeling that fog in the late afternoon, you find yourself alert and engaged, maybe even picking up a new hobby or walking an extra block just because you can. Instead of saying "I can't," you're saying "I can, and I will." That's the power of choosing the right food, and wild salmon stands at the top of the list. And the best part? You don't need it every day. Even having salmon 2 or 3 times a week can create a noticeable shift in how you feel. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency, little choices, repeated often, that add up to lasting strength and independence. So yes, wild salmon is the champion. But before we wrap up, there's something even more important: how to carry this knowledge forward, day after day, so you don't slip back into old habits. Because it's not just about knowing which fish to eat. It's about building a vision for your life, a vision where you stay strong, independent, and joyful in the years ahead. And that's exactly what we'll talk about in the final part. Picture yourself a year from now. You wake up, the sun is streaming through the window, and instead of groaning at the thought of standing up, you swing your legs over the side of the bed with ease. Your joints feel smoother, your body lighter. You pour your morning coffee, and instead of the familiar brain fog, your thoughts feel crisp, clear, like a fresh breeze has swept through your mind. This isn't wishful thinking. It's the power of small, consistent choices adding up day after day. The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean decline. Yes, our bodies change, but those changes don't have to define us. With every meal, with every step, we get to cast a vote for the kind of future we want. Do we want one filled with stiffness, fatigue, and frustration? Or one filled with energy, independence, and laughter? The good news is, that choice is still in your hands. Consistency matters more than perfection. Maybe you don't eat wild salmon every week. Maybe you enjoy a burger once in a while or skip a walk on a rainy day. That's okay. What matters most is the direction you're heading. One good choice followed by another, that's what builds strength, resilience, and joy in the years ahead. I want you to imagine moments that truly matter: carrying a bag of groceries up the steps without needing to stop. Walking down the street with confidence instead of worry about falling. Sitting at the dinner table with your family, laughing and sharing stories, knowing you're fully present in the moment. These are the gifts of treating your body with care. These are the rewards of choosing food that heals. And maybe the most important gift of all? Independence. The ability to do things for yourself, to live life on your terms, to keep saying yes to adventures and time with loved ones. That's priceless. That's what's waiting for you when you take these lessons to heart. Now here's my challenge to you: don't just watch this video and nod along. Take action. This week, swap out one of the harmful fish for one of the healing ones. Try a new recipe, explore the seafood aisle with fresh eyes, and feel the difference it makes in your body. Then come back here and tell us in the comments how it went. Your story might inspire someone else who needs hope right now. And if this message spoke to you, if it gave you even a spark of encouragement, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone you care about. Together, we can spread the truth and help more people over 60 stay strong, sharp, and full of life. So here's where we close today, but not where your journey ends. Your best years aren't behind you. They are waiting, right here, in the choices you make from this moment on. Stay curious, stay hopeful, and remember, every bite, every step, every smile is part of your story of strength. And I'll be right here to walk that journey with you.